Voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch.
Good morning. Good Friday. It's the Friday before the home opener. The Tigers in Arkansas State, all those Red Wolves fans will be coming down from Jonesboro. Hope it's a good crowd. I think it will be. I'm expecting somewhere around 25,000. I'd love it to be better, but that's what I'm sort of expecting, being realistic about the whole thing. And it's a game that the Tigers really going to have, honestly, isn't it? I mean, they're 1-1. They'll be favored in the next 3 games to make them 4-1 if they do against the mighty Houston Cougars, who come, maybe for the last time, to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. I'm going to have to keep remembering that and write it down. Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, which, by the way, they have a press conference right now showing off the new stuff. Yeah. Digital tickets. So let me ask you something. You're a young guy.
Resident young person.
You're a tech guy. They say in the long run it'll be easier, and I kind of understand that. Like for years, you'd say, "Wow, we could get 10,000 walk-up." Really? How are you going to sell 10,000 tickets with like 3 ticket windows open? I've always wondered about that. I always thought they're lying. There's no way they got 10,000 new people who had to stand in line, pay for tickets, get the tickets, get in the game. A line, 10,000, even if they opened it up 2 hours before the game? Really? This way it's easier. And if you want to transfer your tickets, that's real easy to do. You just text it, right? The thing is this. As we get older, and I'm very guilty of this, I don't want change. It looks hard to me. But in essence, once you learn how to get the thing and then transfer it to your wallet, and your wallet, all you have to do is touch it, and it comes up. But here's the one thing I do wonder about. I get there earlier than usual because they got new scanners. That's part of the new deal. We got a new field, got a paint job that makes it look good, I guess. And now everything's digital, so they got these scanners. But, like, I'm coming into the stadium. I always had press gets a silver lot, okay? Little silver ticket. So the guy sees me, and he just lets me go through. Now I got to stop. I got to roll down the window. I got to get my phone. I got to punch my wallet. I got to punch that thing. I got to show him. He's got to scan it. I think it's going to take longer to get in. For parking, I think it's not a good deal. For transferring tickets, yeah. I don't know. Is it easier than giving a ticket stub, scanning it?
I think it's probably easier. The only thing would be the scanning. You know, sometimes those scanners with phones doesn't always work. I think you brought up the great point with ease of access to buying it and ease of access to transferring it. But, you know, in my house, we have like ticket stubs framed like from the Cardinals last World Series. Like that's a collector's item in a lot of places. All these memorabilia things.
Can you take a screenshot of your thing?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's how they'll do it.
But that's different though. You know, they got the artwork on it and whatnot. Yeah. Now this is just one of those QR boxes or whatever.
And I guess that'll just make those other tickets and stuff like that much more valuable because they're not going to be there anymore.
Great for the memorabilia market.
Yeah, it's crazy. I agree, though. Like, you can do walk-up of 10,000 because all you got to do is go online and buy the ticket, right?
Click a button.
Click a button. And then you got the ticket on your phone, so you're in. You don't have to wait in line to get it. That part is easier. And also, let's just say, like for Grizzlies games or Tiger basketball games, the last second you decide you don't want to go. You can't go. Something came up. You don't want to go downtown, whatever it is. You used to have to go and call around and go, hey, you want these tickets tonight? The guy goes, yeah, but how am I going to get them? Well, now all you got to do is text me the ticket, and I got it. Right? That's easy.
Even a screenshot of the ticket itself, it doesn't even have to be the way you could send it through the wallet like you were saying. You got a picture of it, boom, you're in.
Is that right?
That's right.
I didn't even know that. I thought you had to transfer it to your wallet.
Well, that's the way they want you to do. That's the official way to do it, but it'll work with a picture
It'll work.
as well.
Wow. Okay. That's cool. So just keep in mind tomorrow, and I know U of M's asking all the media outlets to say, come a little bit early because this is going to be a little bit different. And I don't know if there's any other new things than what I just mentioned besides the field, the paint job, and the scanners. But there is a press conference going on right now at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. And if there's anything to add, I've got spies that are there, and they will let us know. What would you say is a good home field advantage in terms of numbers, J-Mo? Let me give you an example. Out of the last 23 games against non-conference competition, and I'll let you know on the front end, Ryan Silverfield is 11-2 in his era at home. That includes conference games. What would be the last 23 non-conference games at home? What would be a good record?
Undefeated would be a great record. Non-conference opponents at home?
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Undefeated?
Well, I mean, you would have
You're
to.
hard. I want you. Your favorite team is Miami. Look at you.
Oh, well, that's a bad example.
You're sporting the Miami jersey today. What, you're telling me they're undefeated?
Not even close. But Memphis, I mean, I would think that the quality
Like
of opponent,
Alabama may be undefeated.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a good point, too. It's not. I would say, anything above 500 I think is good. I've changed my tune.
You've
completely.
really changed your tune.
You've guilted me
you
into
go
it.
from one to the other. So that's going to make Memphis' record pretty good because they're not undefeated, but they're 22-1. The only loss
that's as close as you could be.
that they have had was last year when they had a 21-0 lead on Texas San Antonio and blew the lead. Otherwise, against non-conference, they're amazing with wins over Ole Miss in that. So, now, I will say this. Tigers are 14.5-point favorites in this game, and that's pretty high. I'm not telling you how to bet. That's not what I do. But we'll pick some games. But I'm just saying to you, this is not going to be 55-50 like last year.
I'm not a great college football bettor either, but I will say I've already actually played this game for Memphis to cover the 14 points.
What do you mean you played this game?
I already bet on it, 14 points.
Oh, that's how you played it. I thought maybe you did some sort of computer simulation, because people do that.
They do.
And they'll do it like 50 times and then take the consensus and go that way. Well, I hope you're right. But I will tell you,
Arkansas State did look good last week.
Arkansas State has a lot of transfers. And those transfers, you know where they come from? They come from Ohio State. They come from Oregon State. They come from the University of Tennessee. They got two linemen that are from UT. One, the defensive lineman, Kevon Bennett, is Cornelius Bennett's son. He's a dynamic, sort of dominating player. So they're not the same team from a year ago. They're really not. Their quarterback, James Blackman, he was the captain of Florida State, got beaten out, and he and Norvell didn't get along, so he transferred. They were a better team last year. In the sixth game, he got hurt, and then they fell apart. And they were I think they only won 3 games last year. And this kid knows how to check now. He's 6'5". They've got the kid that I mentioned from Oregon State. His name is Champ Flemings. He's as fast as Calvin Austin, maybe shiftier. Oregon State didn't use him inside. They kept him outside. He wasn't as valuable. He's only 5'6", about 155. But Butch Jones has done a good job. What he's done is he's played him in a slot and moved him in motion and stuff like that, so you can't hit him on the line, and he will get the ball a bunch. He's had 17 catches. The next guy on that team has 3.
Yeah, Arkansas State, 2 wins last year, 2-10.
2-10. Okay. After the kid got injured in Game 6, and they were never the same. They're better. There is no doubt that they are better. So Memphis has to run the football, and they have not really done that. They think they can. I mean, that's been very clear in all these meetings. Ryan Silverfield, Tim Kremse, they all think they can run the ball. Do you know how many yards Brandon Thomas had last year against this team?
Over 200.
191. Close. If he can do that, then I'll feel pretty good. That means Memphis will have possessed the ball a bunch. So they're going to have to run. I'm certain they can throw against this team, but they're going to have to run. And they're going to have to contain that kid, Champ Fleming. They're going to have to keep Kevon Bennett away from Hennigan. If they do that, they'll win the game. I think they'll win the game. It's the 14.5 that I think is very, very difficult. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios, and ladies and gentlemen, I got to remind you, they got a spa sale going on now. They say it's the world's biggest spa sale. They're not braggadocious people. They just tell it like it is. Like Howard Cosell used to say, tell it like it is. That's what they do at Family Leisure. 30% off spas right now. It's the largest selection, and it is the world's biggest spa sale. Get to I-40 and Whidden Road right now. You know, our title sponsor for this hour of the program, it's Homer. Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's right at the corner of Kraft Road and Highway 78. That's Lamar and Memphis, and Kraft Road is the very first exit. It's like 15 minutes away. That's it. And you'll get deals, and you'll never pay more than sticker price. Their general manager, Chris Drew's been there for a long time. And the crew around him has been there forever. And they care about their customers. They have the best retention because they don't take advantage of the laws of supply and demand. You never pay more than sticker price at Homer Skelton Hyundai. And a reminder, the weekend's here, so it's time to load up. How do you load up with spirits? You go to the Spirit Shop, my friend Eddie Connor's place, right at the corner of Poplar and St. Nick. It's 4848 Poplar, to be exact. It is right down from Clark Tower. You've seen it a million times. It's that little log cabin right there. And you've wondered, how much product can they have in there? I heard Wolo talking about it. It's such a small place. Go inside. It's not small, and they got everything. They got the bargains, and they've got the valuable ones. They got rare bourbons, and they've got the middle ground, and then the up-and-comers. Same thing with wine. Same thing with tequila. Whatever you need, they've got accessories. They've got all the local beers. Whatever it may be, you will have a smile on your face when you walk in because it's priced well. And when you walk out, you'll feel like you're educated if you talk to Eddie Connor and any member of his family owned and operated since 1969. The Spirit Shop, right there at Poplar and St. Nick. Okay, J-Mo, let's talk a little football. Let's pick some games. We'll start doing this in this time slot on Fridays. You ready?
I'm ready.
First game, Texas A&M -6.5. Oh, my. It's against your favorite team. It's against Miami, the Hurricane.
The U.
The U. You know what? I am not a believer in Texas A&M after last week. I'm really not a believer in some of the ways that Jimbo Fisher operates. And I was sold on him originally. I thought it was a great hire by A&M. It still may be. He did win a national championship at Florida State. He also let that whole program go to waste. And I don't know what he's doing at A&M. I don't know if he's got a great quarterback. I think 6.5 is too much. Give me your favorite team, Miami. I know you're going the same way.
I think I am. This game started as 4-point favorites for A&M. Miami loses their top receiver named Xavier Restrepo. He's out this week, so that is why this line has jumped up so much. But A&M had 3 quarterbacks getting equal reps at practice this week. Now, they've named a starter at this point, but that is not a recipe for a good program right now. I'm also taking Miami plus 6.5.
Okay. We're on the same page. Now we go to Baton Rouge. They host Mississippi State. In a rare instance, I don't know how many times since I've been doing a show back in the early 80s, that Mississippi State would go to Baton Rouge and be a favorite. -2.5 on the Bulldogs. But, I'm a believer in these bullies. I think everybody talks about the offense, but it's the defense. The offense helps because they possess the ball more than anybody. But this Zach Arnett defense gave up the fewer first downs of any team in the country. Top 5 in the SEC last year defensively. I believe in them. I think 2.5 is easy. I think they're going to win by 10.
I agree. I'm taking Mississippi State. That scares me. You and I are both taking it there, to be honest. But I'm also going to take Mississippi State. I think that you got to win. If you're going to be a contender in the West, you got to win games on the road. This is a big one for State.
Let's go to Auburn and Penn State. where the Nittany Lions of James Franklin, who's played in big SEC games and actually won some at Vanderbilt, is his team taking on probably the hottest seat coach in the SEC in Brian Harsin. They tried to get rid of him over the summer, and he got through it. I don't think he's going to get through. Well, he might get through the year, but I don't think he's going to survive. And I think it begins to get hot right now. Penn State -3. I got to go with the Nittany Lions. And unfortunately, I'm going with every road team so far.
That's right. That's scary proposition. I am going to take, this is terrifying. I took Auburn last week, 23-point favorites over San Jose State. They didn't even sniff covering that game. But I'm going to take Auburn this week at home. I'm going to hold my nose, hold my breath, and take Auburn at home.
Wow. So we finally disagree. You've got Auburn at home, and I'm taking James Franklin's Penn State Nittany Lions. Last college game, and we got a couple of NFL games we'll talk about. Last college game, this one's easy to me. Oklahoma and Nebraska. The Sooners are giving away 11. This is a disaster, Nebraska. The Cornhuskers fired their coach. They have an interim coach. And now all kinds of rumors are swirling about Scott Frost, which I never would have believed. And it's just a mess.
There's rumors about Scott Frost, infidelity amongst other things, but on the football field, not showing up to meetings,
right,
being late to practice. Like, it's no wonder the program's such a disaster the way it is.
So these are rumors,
and obviously the sourcing is going to come from people that wanted him out of Nebraska.
Right, but they're saying he would not even show up to some meetings.
So you just miss him.
And then sometimes he was late, like for practice. And then you've mentioned the rumors swirling about several affairs, right?
Several.
My goodness. I guess if you're having several, it's really hard to concentrate on your job.
There's the only appointments he was on time for.
Wow. That's terrible. So they got rid of him, okay, and they paid double the price they had to pay to get rid of him when they did. They couldn't wait till the end of the month. But I still think it's a mess. And Oklahoma's only given away 11 here? I'm all over this. Give me the Sooners.
This is another one I'm just going to have to hold my nose and my breath, I think. I don't know why I like Nebraska here, but I like Nebraska.
Either.
They're firing a coach. I think this will galvanize not only the team, but the assistant coaches probably are all on the same page now. They put in a good week of preparation. I love betting on a team, kind of like baseball. I love betting on a team after they fire the coach. I'm going to take Nebraska here, plus 11. Hold my nose.
Okay. In the NFL, 2 games that strike my interest because they're close lines. New England, 2.5. They're the favorites at Pittsburgh. I don't know why. I'm not a believer in New England this year. I'm really not that big of a believer at this point in Mac Jones. I don't believe in a team that has 2 offensive coordinators. I think Bill Belichick has blown that. You're going to Pittsburgh where Mike Tomlin just has some sort of 4-leaf clover or something. He's the luckiest guy ever. Even though I'm not at all a Mitch Trubisky fan, you're getting 2.5 at home in Pittsburgh against a team that I don't think is all that good. I got to take the Steelers. I'm taking a home team here.
I love the Steelers in this game. I actually think Mitch Trubisky is much improved. I think Brian Daboll is such a good, not only a good coach, a good teacher, that Mitch Trubisky looked a lot better last week than he did the last time we saw him starting. And the Patriots, like you said, looked terrible. They have 2 offensive coordinators. The offense is totally inept. But I like an 0-1 team against a 1-0 team after 1 week, so I'm going to take the Patriots minus 2.5.
Oh, my God. You are out. I'm glad we got 3 games now we don't agree on. Because I think at the end of the year, our bet's going to be like I don't know, some kind of steakhouse or something.
Has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And then final game, Tampa Bay going to New Orleans, where the Falcons were beaten by New Orleans, and I think the Saints were very fortunate to win that game. I kind of have to lean to Brady. He's given away 2.5. I'm not a believer in the Saints, totally. I don't think they're a bad team. I think the Bucs are still pretty darn good. I think the 45-year-old guy, even though he complained about being sore, I think he's still the GOAT. I got to go with the road team again. Give me Tampa Bay.
I'm going to take the Saints.
I knew you would.
The Saints looked, like you said, they snuck out a win last week, but it was on the road in Atlanta, and Jameis in the fourth quarter of that game threw some of the best passes I've ever seen him throw. I think the Saints have a ton of weapons. I think the Saints could win the division. I'm going to take them plus 2.5 at home.
I don't think with Jameis Winston as your quarterback. I know he may have looked good at the end. I don't trust the dude. Name a consistent year for Jameis Winston.
That's a fair point. Last year until he got hurt, but like you said, not consistent if you get hurt and miss the whole year.
Those are our picks. Fun. Okay, so we are different on 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 of them.
Woo, baby. One of us is going to be happy when we talk again on Monday. Glenn Rogers Jr. is going to come your way in a minute. A reminder, Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. You got to start thinking heat. I know next week might be the hottest week of September, the third week of September in the history of Memphis. But you, in the back of your mind, think it's going to get cooler. Think of the cool little tinge in the air we've had the last couple of days. Conway says, early bird special on your heater, $49 for that famous 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up. Early bird special, including a carbon monoxide check, $49 for the tune-up inside and out where they clean all the stuff outside. Please take advantage. Call 384-3511. And with the weekend here, I know you want to play some golf, and I think the coolest place to go, it's beautiful, is Miramichi. 330 acres of beauty just north of Memphis, 12 minutes away from downtown in Woodstock, where you can play 7,400 yards or 5,000 yards. And no, it's all gorgeous. The back nine is like walking in the woods with a meandering stream. There's a waterfall. It's just absolutely knockout beautiful. And then at the end, you can sit on the terrace and have your favorite beverage. And if you go tomorrow or Sunday, when you're through playing, you can watch football on TV on that terrace. Look out at the best scenery in all of Shelby County. It's just outstanding. Please go enjoy the experience at Miramichi. Back in a minute, we talk high school football. Our coach, Glenn Rogers, is standing by. He's next on Wolo and Friends.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration Architectural Shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in. Glenn Rogers Jr. going to join us in a second. We got some breaking news out of Knoxville. I can't find it, J-Mo, on Twitter, but you've got it. Give me this story. Apparently, Josh Heupel is all of a sudden, for no apparent reason, richer.
First reported by Brent Hubbs, Josh Heupel has reached a new deal which puts him over $5 million a year, $1 million a year raise. On September, what's the date today? The 16th? Who are you betting against? You're betting against yourself to get this guy more money? It's just a weird move. I mean, it's like a lot of confidence.
I know.
It's great to have confidence.
I you know what? I think the guy is their coach, but I don't know why right now you had to ensure that you were going to keep him. There's nobody right now trying to hire him away. That's
costing yourself money.
That is absolutely crazy. This portion of the show brought to you by a wonderful place that has been helping seniors all the way back since 1981, and they started in Sykeston. It's called AmeriCare Senior Living. And they've got 3 places in our area: South Breeze, which is on Hacks Cross in Memphis, in Collierville, Schilling Gardens, in Olive Branch, Olive Grove Terrace. What they believe in, and I'm with them here, and believe me, I've watched several last generation ahead of me get much older. And you might think, I got to exercise, you got to eat the right things. Oh, it's true. But you know what the most important thing is it's where you live. It really matters, and who you live with. And with AmeriCare, you're getting a smaller, more intimate community. It's easier to make friends, join fun activities, share great company at mealtimes, and you feel right at home. And part of their thing is wellness. Wellness means not just exercise. Wellness means mentally. And that's what you will get. These AmeriCare places, again, Memphis, Collierville, and Olive Branch, go check them out. They're all about wellness. They are ahead of the game in assisted living and in memory care. You got 3 places. Go check it out. You will really feel better about your parents if you do. Glenn Rogers Jr. joins us now. First thing I want to talk about, a great story in the paper today in terms of high school. We'll get into all the games here too. But there's a story on a lady named Brittany, and I think her last name is pronounced Burse, Brittany Burse. She is the running back coach at Whitehaven. And, you know, the NFL's got this new deal where you've got to hire a woman on staff. So there are going to be more and more people. And she is the only female in Shelby County that I know of that is a football coach. So congratulations to Rodney Salisbury, who was innovative, and to Brittany Burse, who is really on her way, and she wants to get in the NFL. And her role model was a woman, and I never heard of this woman until I read this story today, Coach. You may, though. There was a lady in 1973 who was the head football coach at Chickasaw Middle School, who was a woman, and maybe the only woman ever in all time to be a head football coach. Her name was Shirley McRae. Did you know her, or did your dad know her?
No.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dave, and good morning to all our listeners. I guarantee you my dad would know her, but I didn't know that about Miss McRae. And congratulations to Rodney Salisbury, like you said, being innovative and hiring Miss Burse. And kudos and congratulations to her for stepping out. You know, a lot of women don't want to step into this sport called football. They think it's a man's sport, but like you said, the NFL has started the trend, and you're going to see more and more colleges and more high schools are going to do this, Dave, and follow suit. So congratulations for Rodney to be the first in this area to do so.
Yeah, I think it is really cool. She's been a trainer. She's learning the game. She's gone to clinics. And with the way the NFL is opening up these opportunities now for women, I think we're going to see more and more of it. So congratulations to Brittany Burse and to Rodney Salisbury. All right, let's talk a few games. And I think the game of the week is Bartlett, 3-1 now, and Germantown, which has played the toughest schedule of any team that I can remember.
Absolutely.
Even
Absolutely,
tougher than
Dave.
some of those White Station schedules from the years past when Major Wright and Joe Riccone were there. This schedule is so tough for Germantown, and they're 4-0. It's a great game. It is at Germantown.
And Dave, you know, like you said, Gene Robinson, the coach of Germantown, I mean, he started off on Murderers Row, Christian Brothers, us, Whitehaven. Now he's going out to, now he's got Bartlett at home. And Bartlett coming off a big upset last week of Lausanne. I mean, I thought for sure that Lausanne would get them, and kudos to Bartlett and Tim Jones, the principal, and the head coach and his staff for pulling that win off against Lausanne. And I'll tell you, Dave, this is going to be a game to see tonight for the fans and the parents. A lot of great athletes on the field on both sides of the ball, on both teams. Two very, very good young head coaches going head-to-head and toe-to-toe with each other, two good staffs. And I'll tell you what, Dave, if I wasn't playing tonight, I would want to be at this ball game because it's going to be, I think, a slugfest.
I agree. I think it's so close, it's really tough to pick. But you got to pick somebody.
I'm going to get a nod to Germantown. They just got so many guys that they can send at you, so many good athletes, and I haven't heard anybody in Gene's lineup being seriously injured or hurt or out for the game. So, he's got 3 tailbacks he can send at you, a couple of good wideouts. The quarterback is playing great. If the O-line is still healthy, I think Gene them will squeak this one out, but it'll be a slugfest. It'll be a war tonight.
You know what? I think I lean in that same direction. I think Germantown by a field goal is the way that game will come. I think it's going to be a classic. It will be a great one. Since you mentioned that you're playing,
Dave, Germantown has a great kicker. They have a great kicker, Dave. He is awesome.
Huh? Is he committed anywhere, or is he even a senior?
I don't think he's committed, but I tell you, Dave, I saw him in warm-ups in the Christian Brothers game and our game. He was hitting them from 45 and 50 yards easily.
By the way, last week we had a little disagreement on a game. J-Mo's team.
Yeah.
The Cougars.
The Cougars. I said the Cougars were going to win. You went the other way.
Who won, Dave?
Munford did in Dyersburg. It was a tough game.
I told you. I picked Munford, baby. I picked Munford. Did I pick Munford?
Did he pick Munford?
I can't remember. I think. Hey, I'll give it to him now. If he's going all in on the Cougars, we're all in on the Cougars.
I think
we're jumping on the bandwagon.
No, I went Dyersburg.
You went Dyersburg. I went Munford.
That's right, for the home team. I went for the home team. That's right.
I had to remind you.
I did.
That's all.
I did. I remember because I said in these close games, I usually go with the home team. I remember that.
It wasn't even close. Munford killed him.
Yeah, Dyersburg is not as good as they
Big win
usually
for
are.
Munford. That's a huge win for Munford, Dave. Going into Dyersburg, that's a big-time win.
All right, you mentioned you got Ensworth tonight. You're playing tonight, and you got a big game.
Yes, sir.
This is a true barometer game.
Dave, they got a kid, Shamar Moore, wide receiver. I'm talking about 6'3", Dave. He's about 205. Shamar Porter. He's committed to Kentucky. He's a handful. I tell you, he was a handful last year. He hurdled my corner last year, coming up to make a tackle on him at 6'4". He hurdled him, and that was such an athletic play by a big receiver. He's a long strider, and so his work is 3-1 like we are. They really put a good whooping on Christian Brothers a couple of weeks ago. They played a tough team out of Atlanta last week. I tell you, we're 0-7 versus Ensworth. We've never beaten these guys. They've had our number in the regular season, in the playoffs, and the state championship game before. So this is going to be a big-time league game for us. Just want to see our fans out because it's going to be an exciting atmosphere.
It sounds like it is going to be incredible. And you mentioned you're both 3-1. You're both 1-0 in Division II AAA.
Absolutely.
I'm told Ensworth, I know the game is at MUS, but Ensworth has the best facilities of any team in the state. Is that true?
I think you got to put Montgomery Bell right up there with him because Montgomery Bell just went through $100 million renovation. So
$100 million?
Yes, sir. They had a guy that left them $100 million when he died. Nobody at Montgomery Bell knew that this guy was leaving them that type of money. And so they've undergone a renovation. And I think right now they have surpassed Ensworth in facilities. But before it ends, I would have said Ensworth. or either Baylor or McCollin.
Is
Because
this
all of those schools have facilities.
is this Ensworth team as good as they have been in the past? Obviously, they've lost one game. They're 3-1. You mentioned what they did. They did rip up Christian Brothers High School. I guess you got to run the ball, right? You got two backs that can really tote the mail.
We got to run the ball. We got to have ball control. We got to keep the ball. Their quarterback, he controls the game. He's very, very. His name is Levi Moore. He's a senior. He really manages and controls the game. He picks his spot when he takes his shots. He hands off to a really, really speedy tailback, Mark Smith, who's very shifty. He's a home run hitter. They're big and athletic up front. Then they got a sophomore defensive lineman he's got probably 15 offers from Power 5 teams already. So this is going to be a game where we're going to have to play good on special teams, especially our kickoff unit. And we've got to do an excellent job of moving the ball and putting points on the board offensively when we have the chance to, because we have to control the ball to keep the big fella, the big receiver off the field, and keep that's the way. Another way to meet it. Keep good offense in check is to keep the ball in our hands and keep those guys on the sideline.
Since you mentioned the brothers, they're at home tonight against Briarcrest. This is really a game to stay in the picture of having a good season. They're both 2-2. They both lost league games. They're 0-1 in that department. This one, I suspect, will be another close game for Christian Brothers. How do you break it down?
And, Max Curl for Briarcrest, he's just like this kid, Shamar Porter at Ensworth. Big, tall, athletic. Max plays both sides of the ball, though. But Briarcrest, from what I heard, they lost their quarterback. The kid had offered a choice. He's gone. I think he's no longer in school at Briarcrest. I don't know all the circumstances behind it, but I tell you, going into Christian Brothers, who's got an excellent run game, we know Tommy McDaniel is going to be tough on defense. When you lose your quarterback, that's tough. And so I'm going to get a nod to Christian Brothers. I think they can control the game. They're going to run the ball. They're going to take their shots when necessary. But, anytime you lose your starting quarterback, your backup, to me, he's got to either be close to where could have been named a starter, but I don't think that was the case in this case. I'm
with you. If Briarcrest is without that QB and Christian Brothers can run the ball, and that coach loves possession time.
Absolutely.
I think you're right there. One last game. Whitehaven, Houston. Houston's 3-1. Whitehaven has had such a tough schedule. It's a little like Germantown. They've lost a couple of really close games, like the Germantown game. So they're only 2-2. They really have a must-win game tonight, but they're at Houston. This one should be very, very close.
And I'll tell you, Dave, how many times that you and I can go back and think that Rodney Salisbury, this early in the season, has been in a must-win game. Usually they're 4-1 or 4-0 or 5-0 at this point. And right now they're 2-2. And you got to think that there's probably some fans on the edge of their seats because Houston is a good team. It's going to be an exciting environment out there. Houston's been rolling these past couple of years. I'll tell you, Dave, it wouldn't shock me for Whitehaven to go in there and Houston and pull off the upset because we scrimmage Houston. They're very capable on offense. The defense is very aggressive. They blitz and bring guys from all over the place. And so this is going to be a game right now for Rodney. This early in the season, a must-win. It's a league game. I tell you, this is going to be another game that fans will want to go out and see because these are really two great programs in our city, and Whitehaven being one of the better programs in the city, and Houston up and coming.
Who are you picking?
I think Houston's going to pull it off tonight, Dave. I just seen that defense. They're so aggressive. They got athletes. They can run the ball. Whitehaven, they got kids on offense. They can get by you, track kids on offense. I just think Houston would get the nod tonight because this is a big game for them as well. I'm just going to get a slight edge to Houston.
I'm going the opposite way. I can't imagine Rodney Salisbury being 2-3. I just can't. I think they figure out a way.
Dave, I can't either. But I think Houston's going to be prepared, and it's going to be a hard-fought ball game. I think Houston's going to squeak it out at the end.
What are your Tigers going to do tomorrow? Glenn Rogers Jr. against Arkansas State. And this is almost like a rivalry game now because of Tom Bowen. He inked an 8-year deal. Then, of course, he went to Arkansas State. He's not there. But I think this is only the second game of 8. So it's going to be a lot of Memphis and Arkansas State for the next few years. Tigers got them 55-50 last year. What do you think happens tomorrow at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium?
And Arkansas State always comes over, through the Larry Lacewell days. You've been here, Dave, as long as you've been. They've always come across the bridge and played us tough. Last year we jumped out on a big lead and they came roaring back. And I'm looking at.
Uh-oh.
And they came storming back, and I'm like, I'm pulling my hair out. I'm like, and me and a lot of former Tigers were texting each other like, what is going on? And so I think Ryan will be more prepared this year. We got a new D coordinator. I just think we coming off some momentum and winning that big game at Navy, and the defense playing well. I think we should get this tomorrow. Should be a big crowd. First home game. I'll be there. My wife and I just looking to support the Tigers, and just hopefully we can go into this game with Houston 4-0 with a big Friday. Is it a Friday night or Thursday night game? Houston coming into town. Just hopefully we can go
it's
in
a Friday.
That,
that game will be a Friday night game.
Hopefully we got a 4-0. We got a big crowd when Houston comes in, because we're going to need it.
Yep, no doubt about it. All right, my friend. Thank you much. We appreciate it as always. Good luck to you against Ensworth tonight, and we'll talk again next Friday.
Absolutely, Dave, and good luck to all the teams, the local teams here in town, and go Tigers, go.
Go Tigers, go. Thank you much. That is Glenn Rogers Jr., our coach on high school football. Of course, he is the coach, one of the coaches at MUS. This portion, yeah?
Dave, you saw Munford was number 1 in the Dandy Dozen this week, too.
I did see that.
4-0.
I
I would be remiss if I didn't mention it during the high school football section.
I will be. I got to say, I think that is the first time that I can recall, honestly, that Munford is number 1 in the Dandy Dozen.
It's something else. They're a really good team, and they're well coached. I'm excited for them.
I'm excited for them too. I really am. This portion of the show brought to you by my good friend Sheldon Rosengard and Mark Spensdorf. You know, like I do, that it's tricky in this day and age making your mind up about what you're going to do about your house. Are you going to sell? Are you not going to sell? Tricky climate right now. You know who navigates you through that? The guy that they call Sheldon. Sheldon Rosengard and Mark Spensdorf. His number is 901-483-0546, or it's easy also to get him at memphisrelocate.com. Here's the deal. He's got a strategy. It's a marketing strategy. It has worked forever. He'll tell you how to price it. He'll tell you if you got to fix anything up, and then he'll sell your house, and he'll do it very quickly. No matter what that environment is like, this guy figures out how to navigate through all the tricky parts. He really does. Again, that number, if you want to sell your house and make it move quick, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Get the job done. Just call Sheldon with Marks Bensdorf. And this portion of the show is brought to you by BetUS.com. If you are looking for a sports book, you want one with integrity and longevity. How about 28 years involved in NFL? 28 years. And the biggest thing is you've got to know you're going to get paid. You get paid with BetUS.com. And the best sign-up bonus in the industry, 200%. Biggest sign-up bonus. BetUS offers a lot. Not just the NFL in 28 years. You get NBA. You get MLB. You will get European slots. They got live dealers waiting for you at the tables. You can get golf. You can get MMA. They do it all. All you got to do is sign up. BetUS.com or call 1-800-79-BETUS. And if you do that, you got to leave the promo code, and that's simple, too. Sports 56 Radio. Sports 56 Radio. BetUS, where the game begins. To Chicago we go in a matter of moments. Our NBA and agent, Andy Schiffman from Priority Sports, is right around the corner.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend. That's Sheldon at 483-0546 at MemphisRelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Done gets it done.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
You're at the game, and that hot dog and soda came back to haunt you with heartburn. You've got to get it under control with a few antacids. Till bedtime, then the heartburn comes back. Does this happen to you? Instead of fighting your heartburn, block it with Prilosec OTC so you can celebrate your team's victory without heartburn distracting you. Taking one Prilosec OTC pill in the morning can prevent excess acid production with 1 pill a day. 24 hours, 0 heartburn. Prilosec OTC. Used as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Lonely feeling deep inside. Find a corner.
To Chicago we go momentarily. Our friend Andy Schiffman standing by. We talk some NBA. He's brought you in part by the Eflin Insurance team. I love bragging about Matt and his crew because they do insurance a little differently than most. They believe in getting to know you. It's collaborative. First, they get to know your family and what your needs may be. Then they figure out what your budget is, and then they will protect you with life insurance or a home program, an auto insurance program. They get to know you first. They know your needs. They know your budget, and then they protect you. Same thing with businesses, commercial insurance for small to mid-sized businesses. They'll get to know what your inventory is, what's important to you, how you forecast it out, what your budget is. Then they protect you. It's simple. It's collaborative. It's the Eflin Insurance Group at 901-386-4777. That stands for GER, because they're big Tiger fans too. Check it out, the Eflin Insurance Group. Big controversy this week with the NBA and the Phoenix Suns owner, Robert Sarver. He was suspended for a year. He was fined $10 million. And after that, players like LeBron James, players like the minority owner, the number 2 owner in the Suns, say that's not enough. He should be terminated. It's something I got a feeling he's going to be forced to sell this team before it's all said and done. We go to a guy who might know. That's Andy Schiffman in Chicago from Priority Sports. Andy, what ends up with Robert Sarver and that story?
Hey, Dave. Well, I think you're exactly right, and I've said this for a little while now, just knowing some of the controversial comments that have been made over the years by Robert Sarver to employees, to some of our players and coaches that we've represented in the Phoenix organization over the years. I do think he will be forced to resign, and whether that means release his share to the rest of the ownership group, sell it outright, what have you, I'm not sure. But I think that is the end result, and I think that, look, if you remember, pretty early on in Adam Silver's tenure as commissioner and everything that happened with the Clippers' old previous owner, Donald Sterling. Very similar situation. And Adam Silver really put pressure on Sterling to sell the team, and he did. He might have actually, if I remember correctly, mandated that he sell the team, required that. So
I think he
absolutely,
did. Is that when
yeah,
Steve
and I-
Ballmer paid that outrageous price? I mean,
Yeah.
the punishment for Donald Sterling was like $2 billion. Crazy.
Yeah,
but it
punishment,
did
right.
it did rid the league of basically a racist dude.
No, absolutely. And I think we're going to see that again. I think it's only a matter of time. I don't really, quite honestly, know what the big difference is between Sterling's situation and what you see with Sarver, especially since it seems like there is an established history or almost like a quote-unquote standard practice in his ownership tenure of the Suns and what has taken place among the staff members, the players, the coaches, the employees, et cetera. And that just, you're not going to stand for that, especially in a league like the NBA. And Adam Silver's done a great job of just painting this really pristine picture and putting out great optics of what the NBA is all about from a cultural standpoint. And exactly right. You can't stand for that, having one of your owners, even if he says that was in the past, too bad. You don't get multiple chances in that sort of role. So I think he's going to end up selling the team and be forced to sell the team.
I don't know why Silver did not mandate like he did in the Donald Sterling instance. Why he it's a pretty punitive deal. $10 million and a 1-year suspension. But I got a feeling pressure is going to mount, and they will force him to sell Phoenix. And, by the way, the WNBA team, the Mercury, he owns them both.
The Mercury, yep.
So I don't know what kind of package you'll get, but he'll probably be it'll be a heck of a punishment where he ends up, with a couple of $1 billion or whatever it may be in the long run. Speaking of money, Michael Jordan's Last Dance jersey from '98 sold at an auction for $10.1 million. That is the most ever paid for an item of sports memorabilia, surpassing the $9.28 million paid for the late Diego Maradóna's jersey from the '86 World Cup. Was it a Chicago guy that bought it, or do they still love Jordan and worship him in Chicago now that he's living in Phoenix,
absolutely.
Charlotte all the time?
No, they absolutely do. It's funny. There's a lot of obviously young people and kids playing basketball all over Chicago, et cetera. And every now and then, whether it's at local camps or even like neighbors that I see, I start talking to them about basketball, and these are kids that never saw Michael Jordan play a game. And I start rattling off names. I said, do you know who Anthony Hardaway is? Do you know who David Robinson is? Tim Duncan? They've never heard of those players. And then you mentioned Michael Jordan, who obviously was even in a prior era. And, oh, yeah, I know MJ. I know Michael Jordan. So he is and forever will be worshipped here in Chicago. So it is pretty remarkable to see. I'm a big sports memorabilia fan, so I was interested and kind of excited to see that 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card, mint condition, sold for $12 million.
Yeah.
I tried to convince my dad to pony up and buy that one, but so now you see that, and now you see this Jordan jersey go. I don't know if it was bought specifically by a Chicago resident or not. I think those details will come out. They're not out there already. But look, I love the fact that you have all these magnates and just really, really, really wealthy people out there that are kids at heart and will spend such an exorbitant amount of money on sports memorabilia. And look, if I had that money, that's what I'd be doing too.
It's absolutely crazy. It's interesting how Michael Jordan's popularity, the Last Dance documentary on ESPN probably reintroduced the country to the guy that I still think is the greatest NBA player of all time. But he hasn't done a commercial for Nike in how long? I can't remember, because he was everywhere. He was doing a tequila commercial. He was no. He's worth $1 billion. He doesn't need to, but his shoe still sells. So I'm thinking that maybe he would still do some to keep the shoe line going. But I can't remember the last time he was on one.
Well, I think the guy breathes and makes more than I can make in a lifetime. So I don't really think he's necessarily out there promoting anything. But absolutely, everyone wants Jordan shoes. And obviously there's a lot of highly sought after shoes from current NBA players that fans alike and fans of the game, and even players will want to sit there, and college players, et cetera, will want to purchase and buy and wear and show off. But it all starts with Jordan. It's all a derivative of Jordan and Nikes. So absolutely, again, I just don't think he needs to promote anything. Why does he need to do that when, just the name is synonymous with a must-have item? So it's like he is hot now as just as he ever was in terms of his market value for memorabilia. So, hey, good for him.
Well,
that's great. It's great for MJ. It's great for Nike.
You mentioned Penny Hardaway. I believe Penny Hardaway's shoe is still like from somewhere like number 3, 4, or 5, still top selling shoes in Nike.
It is. There are still Penny shoes out there being sold. I see them quite often, actually, in some of our players here as they transition from college to the NBA and they're training for the draft. They've always come in with a lot of their own shoes they wore in college. And a lot of them even wear Penny shoes, and they know about Penny. So that's interesting to see as well. And obviously, once they get into the NBA, then they'll sit there and wear whatever aligns with their contract they end up signing with as a rookie going into the NBA, whether it's Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, etc. But up until that point in time, even current players absolutely will wear Pennies, Jordans, current NBA players. It's you see all the time. You saw this in Memphis. It's that market, right? The shoe market. People will do anything and stop at nothing to get their hands on these shoes, and unfortunately, they'll commit crimes.
Yeah, no,
rob
that's awful.
Nike, and you saw that. It's crazy what these shoes will sell for. It's absolutely crazy.
No doubt. As always, my friend, we appreciate it. We'll be a week closer to training camps. We'll start to get into what the players are doing and all the regiments and everything that next week. Have a great weekend, and we'll chat next Friday. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. You too, Dave. Thanks a lot.
That is our agent in Chicago. That is Andy Schiffman with Priority Sports. He's brought to you in part by the good folks who bring you the best Pilsner around, Poppy's Pills. That's that great Pilsner that comes from right here in Memphis at Grind City Brewing. Light, crisp, and refreshing. Next week, I saw like Tuesday or Wednesday, it's supposed to be 98 degrees. It's going to be the hottest third week in September in the history of Memphis, if they're right. So you want something refreshing. You want something ultra crushable. You want something light, crisp, something that will quench that thirst and make you feel good. It's Poppy's Pilsner, made right here. Available in 6-packs or 15-packs. You can ask your favorite retailer about it. I know Eddie Connor's got it at the Spirit Shop. It's best enjoyed ice cold. Aren't all those Pilsners? This one's special. You will love it. Poppy's Pills, the good folks from Grind City Brewing. Don't forget all the good football we got starting tomorrow at noon or 12:30 with Ole Miss and Georgia Tech. All the NBA stuff. Always keep it right here. Johnny Radio coming your way on remote in just a minute. I'll tell you. We'll see you at the football game tomorrow. Have a great weekend, everybody.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done.